The Mario and Luigi games have definitely grown to become one of my favorite Mario spin-off series. One of the main reasons for this is that each new title offers new and unique features compared to the other ones in the series. I love each Mario and Luigi game for different reasons, and that's why I really like seeing them remade in the forms of the Bowser's Inside Story remake on January the 11th, and the one that we got in 2017 for the first Mario and Luigi title, being Superstar Saga. These remakes allow new updated features from modern day consoles to be implemented into the older Mario and Luigi games to enhance the original experience. But speaking of new features being added from new consoles, what about the future of the Mario and Luigi series? A future that is certainly held within the Nintendo Switch. The 3DS is clearly not going to be supported as much as it was previously within 2019, and definitely not as much beyond that. And for a series as popular as the Mario and Luigi series is, it's only a natural move for it to go to the Nintendo Switch eventually. It may not be within 2019, but it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch eventually, and that's just the natural progression of series. If Pokemon, a series that is made its home on portable consoles, can move to a console that's part portable and part home console, then the Mario and Luigi series could definitely do the same. Pokemon was the king of portability, and Mario and Luigi, while it's only had its home on portable consoles, could definitely work on the Nintendo Switch, and that's what I'm going to be speculating about in this video. How exactly will we be playing Mario and Luigi games on the newest Nintendo console? And before we get into this, if you're new here, consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon so that you don't miss any new Mario and Luigi uploads anytime soon. And with that being said, let's get started. I figure when we start this discussion, we have to go over the fact that the Nintendo Switch only has one screen, and ever since the second Mario and Luigi title, we have gotten a two-screen experience for the games, and they've kind of been built around that. There is no question that Mario and Luigi can work on one screen, considering that the first title in the series, Superstar Saga, was on one screen only. However, Nintendo likes to adapt and use the technology found within consoles to make the best experience out of the Mario and Luigi games. Just look at Bowser's Inside Story and the Mega Bowser fights being able to be fought on two different screens. That type of experience wouldn't be able to be done on the Nintendo Switch because of the one screen, and that's one of the main reasons why Nintendo decided to remake Bowser's Inside Story instead of remaking Partners in Time first. It could be possible that Nintendo is saving the Partners in Time remake for the Nintendo Switch, considering that it's not as heavily reliant on the two-screen experience as Bowser's Inside Story was, although it definitely utilized the two screens well. But one of the main reasons that I'm talking about this is that if Nintendo has made such big use out of the specific technology that's on each console that a Mario and Luigi game is released on, then they're definitely going to be doing the same for the Nintendo Switch. And how would Nintendo use that technology to make new Mario and Luigi games? So that's going to be the first section of this video. Here are some ideas for how to make great use out of the Switch's technology. Motion controls could definitely be implemented into a new Mario and Luigi game on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I would definitely want them to be optional because I wouldn't want to have to use motion controls all the time, especially if I'm playing on the go. I'd rather just use the console normally as a standard controller, and probably the majority of the time, the majority of the fan base would want to do that. But for some good gameplay variety, I think motion controls would be a great idea. Have the option to use one Joy-Con representing Mario and one Joy-Con representing Luigi, and you could use the motion controls to flick them upwards to do a jump and dodge an attack. You could pull it backwards and then swing it forward if you want to charge up the hammer attack. I could just see it being used so seamlessly and implemented into that gameplay style, and I think it would really fit a Mario and Luigi game, considering that Mario games really make use out of the motion controls when they're on a console that supports it. Mario and Luigi games can definitely target a mature audience at times, but at its core, Mario games are kids' games, and one way to really get kids engaged with these kinds of games is to implement motion controls as one of the standard methods of controlling. Give players the option not to use it if they don't want to, but also give that option because it could be a fun alternative to a relatively standard form of controls. Building on that original idea about each character being used with one Joy-Con, the Switch has many more buttons on it than the 3DS does, so that means many more possibilities for attacks could be implemented. If one Joy-Con represents Mario and the other represents Luigi, then each of the buttons and joystick on each of the Joy-Cons could be used for something unique. You've got to leave it up to Nintendo to figure out how you would implement these attacks into the game, but I could definitely see it happening. We've had Mario and Luigi be set by the A and B buttons respectively throughout the series, so by upgrading that to having one Joy-Con represent Mario and one represent Luigi, there would have to be some major changes implemented, and Nintendo might not want to go that far with this. But moving on from the ideas of how the Switch's technology could be implemented in a unique way, let's move on to some other features that I would like to see in the game. One thing that I would really like to see return from the Mario and Luigi series, and it's not really a feature, it's more of a character. I would like to see Fawful's presence back in the game. The last time that we've seen Fawful was in Bowser's Inside Story, one of the main reasons that I got really excited for the remake, but I would love to see Fawful return as one of the primary antagonists again. He had a supporting role in the original game, as well as partners in time, but got the full main antagonist role in Bowser's Inside Story, and I definitely think that he could be brought back for a new Mario and Luigi title. You just have to write it into the story. Story isn't the biggest deal for Mario games, and I get that these are RPGs and you want to pay a little more attention to it, and when a character gets defeated, it would be more difficult to bring them back, but I think it's definitely possible. Bowser's come back from the dead so many times that I can't even count it. I'm sure Fawful could do the same with some magical trickery. If not Fawful being brought back, then I would like another unique villain with some amazing lines of dialogue. Sometimes you kind of want to skip dialogue in RPGs a little bit if it gets a little bit boring, but Fawful's I would never skip. I would read every line, sometimes out loud, and I would genuinely burst out laughing throughout some of the lines. The dialogue was that good because the character was that good, and you need more great, captivating villains like that because it's something that makes the Mario and Luigi games great. One of the main things that makes Bowser's Inside Story many people's favorite Mario RPG title. There's many great characters within the Mario and Luigi games, and I'm sure there's going to be no shortage of them being implemented into a Switch one, but Fawful being brought back, or a character similar to him, would take it to another level. This is another feature I would like implemented into the game, something else that was implemented into Bowser's Inside Story. I'd like a third character option for the game. About half the experience of Bowser's Inside Story was playing as Bowser, and this was incredibly fun. You got to experience two different worlds within the game, the inside of Bowser and the world outside of him. And that was experienced as Bowser, obviously. Some fun minigames were implemented into the world, and eventually when you got to explore it as Mario and Luigi, it got even more interesting because they had the ability to jump. Something unique like that again would be amazing to implement into a new game. It's kind of like I'm asking for a modern version of Bowser's Inside Story here, and that's really what I'm getting at. Not exactly a carbon copy, that's the remake, and I think that you should try to distance yourself from something like that a little bit more, but a third character option would be really good. Probably not Bowser again because it would be way too similar, although it would be nice to see him again, but I think Yoshi would be a great idea, or Donkey Kong. A character like that could be implemented into the overworld and it would be really interesting. We got a third character implemented in Paper Jam, and if they want to do it that way, that would be fine as well. While Paper Jam definitely wasn't the most captivating Mario and Luigi title or anything like that, it did have a third character option, and that's something that I appreciate. Partners in Time had 4 characters implemented, being the babies, but they were kind of in a support role, and I'm looking for a new full-on character to be added here. Yoshi or Donkey Kong could have very unique moves to use, such as Yoshi eating enemies with his tongue, and then probably beating up on them as the egg like he does in Smash Brothers. He could launch the eggs as well. Donkey Kong could climb on vines and pound on enemies like that. It'd be a great idea to have a new character implemented in a new Mario and Luigi title. If Nintendo ends up implementing those 2 returning features, as well as all the new stuff with the Switch technology that I talked about, I could definitely see this becoming one of the best Mario and Luigi titles in the entire series. It all depends on how much they want to implement the unique technology of the Switch into this game, and how much of the previously established stuff in the series that they want to come back. I really want to know what kind of features you guys want to see in a new Mario and Luigi game on the Nintendo Switch, so be sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll try to read as many as I can. For more Mario videos coming really soon, remember to subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss any new uploads. Check out some of the previous videos that I have recommended for you on screen right now, and I'll see you next time.